What is going on, everybody out there in Heroclix land, and welcome to another installment of Collecto-Clicks. So, I started going into some other keywords and all the shenanigans that you can do with those, and then I came to realize that I really just needed to do a whole video on all of the major keyword sheets that you can do to make all of these theme teams that much better. Because it's hard to do, uh, like a best team of soldiers, right? Without saying, oh, hey, there's this great piece called Spider-Man 1776 that can bring soldiers onto a Spider-Man family theme team, and then you can cheat on all these other pieces. It's hard not to do that. It's hard to go, hey, I'm just going to run soldiers, and this is the best team you can make with soldiers, and then sell that to you guys as this is the best you can do because it really isn't. So I want to take a whole video and go over all of the different keyword sheets that you might not know about if you're new to the game or if you're just new to the meta and haven't had a chance to look at Spider-Man Venom Absolute Carnage, because I believe that set had sold out pretty quickly. It came out during COVID, so I don't know if they just didn't make a lot of that set or when people were so hungry for Heroclix at that time that they just bought a buttload of it. And like I said, this is the set that I came in on, and I was lucky enough to buy a brick of it. But I haven't been able to find any more of this stuff ever since I got into the game. So starting off, we're going to talk about a piece called Marvella. She is a rare from Spider-Man Venom Absolute Carnage, and she brings celebrities on your team. Now, this whole Spider-Man family theme team thing didn't really work so well until Disney Plus dropped. Once Disney Plus dropped, you got so many really good celebrities, and the reason why it works so well is because Marvella is only 15 points. So for 15 points, you're increasing the number of characters that can come onto your team almost tenfold, because the number of meta viable characters in Disney Plus that have the celebrity keyword are just innumerable. I mean, it's almost the whole set. You're looking at the main ones you want to look at are Sicarian Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, and Agatha Harkness. And bringing those onto a Spider-Man family theme team for only 15 points allows you to play another one of these pieces to bring on another keyword that can make those pieces so much better. So Marvella isn't that strong of a character, but she has a lot of great supporting powers that are really just perks for her 15 points. She might be one of the best 15-point pieces in the game. But she has a 6 movement with a special that says sidestep, and then she has the fight symbol, but only if she has no action tokens. So first turn flight character that can sidestep an equipment onto you. That's not going to be as important going forward in the meta because of the new equipment rules that are coming out, but she can still sidestep and carry somebody, which is incredibly powerful. And then she also has barrier and an empower on her damage. So just look at this piece and you see a cheap sidestep, a cheap barrier, and a cheap empower all wrapped up into one. Extremely strong for 15 points. She has the Spider-Man team ability, so she can copy Shield or Underworld or Batman family. Whatever you have on your team, she can have it. She is extremely strong for 15 points. And the reason why I hesitate to say that she is the strongest 15-point piece is because there's another piece in this set called Mary Jane Watson, who does have the Spider-Man family keyword, and she might be the only character that you add onto your team that for strictly the Spider-Man family keyword. All of the characters on your team when you put these Spider-Man family people together will have the Spider-Man family keyword, but for characters that just have the Spider-Man family keyword that don't need to be cheated onto it, I would really only look at Mary Jane Watson for 15 points. She's extremely good, especially if you have a piece on your force that has Mastermind. She is autonomous with sidestep, shape change, and she has a secret identity ability, so it's basically a stop click. And her trait is really why you want to have her on there. It says, need a distraction tiger. Don't forget you're married to a movie star. Power. If no friendly bystanders named paparazzi are on the map, roll a d6. Generate a number of paparazzi bystanders equal to half the result in unoccupied squares within 4 squares. So this is extremely powerful because all these paparazzi bystanders are also autonomous. They also have sidestep and they all have incapacitate with like a 9 attack. So they're not very strong, but they're great for tying up your opponent and pushing them out. And if you have a piece like Blackheart or a Emperor Gladiator or something like that with Mastermind, they are great for Mastermind fodder, and she can keep popping them out as they die. So, other than Marvella, we're going to go into the other rare that can cheat keywords onto your force because both of these pieces are probably going to be the cheapest route to get some keyword cheats onto your team. She brings on Asgardian and Deity keyword characters. So with Asgardian, you're looking at most of the chases from War of the Realms, none of which are very good, but the chase Rocket Raccoon might be worth your time. You're looking at Ymir and Surtur, and that's really it for Asgardian. And then with Deity, you're looking at a lot. I mean, you have Scarab, you have Blackheart, and the list goes on. I believe some of the Magnetos have it. I'm not sure if Venom Magneto does, but Deity is really where she shines, bringing on Scarab, Blackheart, and then with Marvella, you can add Zakari and Iron Man to that. And that takes us into her powers and abilities. She's basically just a running shot, energy explosion, cleanup piece. You want to keep her in the back, really, until your opponent is softened up enough for her to come in. Otherwise, she's an extremely easy to kill 40 points with a special on her damage that says when Mary Jane hits with a range attack, choose a hit target. Until your next turn, that character has a mobile and modifies attack and defense -1. Now that's a decently strong damage power, but it's really not worth bringing her up into the action unless you absolutely need to. I'm also going to go into her trait because all of these Spider-Man chases will have this trait, so I want to read it here so you guys understand what I'm talking about going forward, because this is a trait that does come in handy whenever you're running certain pieces. So it's called Call in Help from the Spider-Verse, and it says when this character hits an opposing character, if no character has been placed this turn, after resolutions you may roll a d6. 3 through 6, place another friendly character with the Spider-Man family keyword adjacent. So with these keyword cheats, you're able to bring on celebrities, right? So you're able to bring on pieces like Scarlet Witch and Agatha. And this is an extremely easy way to get Scarlet Witch and Agatha up into your opponent's force so that they can drop their rune or chaos marker depending on which witch you choose to use. And with that, let's start going into the chases. Now the two chases that are probably going to be the easiest for you to get your hands on are Miles West and Gwen of Arc. That's because when these pieces came out, no one really gave them a second look. But as more pieces started to come out, the keywords that they were able to cheat onto Spider-Man family just got better and better. With Miles West, you're able to bring on police keyword pieces to the Spider-Man family keyword. He also has the call in help from the Spider-Verse, and he has this crazy trait. So it's called Fastest Webs in the West. Miles West and adjacent friendly characters can use shape change, but only for range attacks. When Miles West or an adjacent friendly character use shape change and succeed after resolutions, give the attacker a web gun token. And then another trait that explains web gun tokens is no guns in my town. Characters with a web gun token can't make range attacks and have power. Remove all web tokens from this character. Protected pulse wave. So, this piece was being used by Tyler Speeds to kind of counter Thanos and some of the other heavily used meta pieces in the game because there was so much range involved, right? So Miles West was able to not only bring in crazy good characters like the Flashes and the Commissioner, but he was also able to give his entire team shape change from range. And whenever they succeed on their shape change, those characters can't make range attacks anymore until they take a power action to remove the webgun token, obviously. So this piece is extremely good, and it's also fairly cheap to get your hands on it. Now, keep in mind, all these Spider-Man Venom Absolute Carnage pieces will retire next year. So keep that in mind whenever you're going out and looking for them. Don't break the bank for these characters because going forward, there's going to be a lot more keyword cheating things out there, and you know, just keep in mind that these pieces are only going to be around for a short while. Okay, so with Miles West out of the way, we'll go into Gwen of Arc. She can bring on armored characters. This is just another way to get on Sicarian Iron Man, Dooms. Other than that, there's not a lot of great armor pieces. This is going to be your cheapest option. You can definitely make a decent team out of this, but at the same time, this is probably your weakest option. She has a cool leadership. When she uses it and succeeds, when a friendly character hits this turn after resolutions, remove an action token from them. So not the best, special leadership that we've ever seen, but it's still fairly strong. She's 60 points. Otherwise, not that great. When she's KO'd by an opponent's attack, after resolutions, heal all other friendly characters equal to the damage she was dealt. That's okay, but she has to die for you to use it, and I don't like those kind of traits. So, like I said, weakest option, but still an option. Now we're going to go into your more expensive options. Leonardo da Venom can bring on scientist keywords. He is either 90 or 60 points. We're going to go over his 60-point dial because I can't see a scenario where you would even want to think about running this guy at 90. 60 points is still a lot for how short his dial is. But he has a cool trait called the Venovian Man. Flurry, Plasticity, Shape Change. When Leonardo da Venom makes an attack roll of doubles and hits, choose one. The attack is a critical hit, or after resolutions, unequip all equipment equipped to the hit target. And then his special on damage is Outwit and Perplex, and when an opposing character uses Outwit or Perplex, their maximum range is 4. That's an incredibly strong damage ability. He does have the shield team ability, which is also incredibly strong, but he's 60 points, 4 clicks long. Super easy piece for your opponent to score. Spider Hammer Eye. Real quick, with Scientist, you can bring in some of the best pieces in the meta. You're looking at the Flashes again. Oh man, there's so much good with the Scientist. I can't hardly think. High Evolutionary. Oh man, I'm gonna have to click on the keyword. Scientist. I think you still can bring in Sicarian Iron Man with this one. Yep, Sicarian Iron Man. War of the Realms, not too much. Empire, Ultron Pym, if you want to go that route. Mr. Fantastic Super Air is also very good. Demon in an Armor. I went over in my Avengers video, and oh man, so much goodness. High Evolutionary, I said. The Dooms. Molecule Man would be a very strong add. Scientist. Oh man. DC. Stupid AC ROMs. DC, you are looking at the Flashes. Not too much in DC. So, Scientist is an extremely powerful keyword. So, he might be worth it to you if you want to play one of those Scientist pieces. With that, we're going to go into Spider-Man 1776. And this guy was, he was the most powerful piece in the meta for a while. But since then, he's been errated. So I'm not even going to go into what he used to do. We're just going to go into his errata version because that's really all you need to know about this piece going forward. He does bring on soldiers to your team. He has a trait, and this trait used to be the OP part about this character. But right now it just says Leadership Super Senses. When Spider-Man 1776 hits, until your next turn, opposing forces have action total -1, minimum of 2, and opposing characters within 6 squares can't use leadership or autonomous. Now this is insanely good if you can get Spider-Man 1776 to hit your opponent. Generally it's fairly hard to get him up into the action. What a lot of people tend to do is give him the lasso from Wonder Woman 80. Equip him with that so he has a free end cap after he moves out his full range or his full speed. And that generally, is able to, with everything else you can put onto a soldier team with the Spider-Man family and everything else, you can generally plan around that working. He does have perplex, so that's only going to add to his speed value or his attack value to hit your opponent and take away an action from them. And when you're able to out-action your opponent, it generally means you're you're going to take the lead, and it's going to be hard for your opponent to come back from that. Because when he hits, it's going to take away the leadership from your opponent if you're up close enough, and they're only going to have 2 power actions to take apart your team. Okay, so that's Spider-Man 1776. He comes in at 75 and 50, and some decent soldiers that you can bring in. I think Acetum, Emperor Gladiator, Power Broker, a lot of great primes actually, and then the non-prime Power Broker, Sharon Carter, can unequip your opponent at the beginning of the game. Very powerful. Green Lantern from Wonder Woman 80th, and Ricky Barnes, a chase that not a lot of people think about, but is actually fairly powerful. Fairly powerful attacker. Just some decent soldiers. The main thing you're going to have to think about with soldier is it's hard to find a TK with that keyword. I think there's one TK in the whole keyword, and it's a rare Baron Zemo from War of the Realms. But very solid piece here to use if you want to go the soldier route. Then we go into Spider Pharaoh, and she brings on rulers to your theme team. Now, this might be the best keyword to bring on to a Spider-Man family theme team, but at the same time, she is incredibly fragile. As long as people can get past her super senses, or outwit it, or just hope you miss your roll and you miss your roll, she's probably going to die. She has a special on movement with phasing, teleport, and passenger 3, and she has probably the strongest damage power out of all these pieces, outside of 1776, obviously. It's Empower, Enhancement, Leadership, and PC. So 4 of the best damage powers that you can hope to have on a support piece. The problem is that she's a 60-point support piece. And generally that's way too high for support. So some great rulers, if you guys need help with that, are Thanos, Apocalypse, God, there's just so many. Venom Magneto, Blackheart again, rulers, Emir, Surtur. Man, I'm not even going to go into it. There is a lot, okay? And just understand that this is probably the best keyword in Heroclix outside of X-Men. So she might be the best for keyword cheating onto a Spider-Man family team. From that, we go into probably one of the weakest. It's Spider Viking, and I say strongest and weakest, but that's just for the moment, right? There's so many sets coming out, and they all have all these pieces that could be incredibly good in the meta. So keep in mind that I'm just talking about present day when I say strongest and weakest. Going forward, that might all change because, as we saw with Disney Plus, Marvella was probably the weakest, brought on the weakest keyword, but then after Disney Plus dropped, it became the strongest keyword to bring onto a Spider-Man family team. So just keep that in mind going forward. That being said, Spider Viking does bring on warriors and pirates. And warrior is a decent keyword. You can bring on some great pieces, but at the same time, man, actually, he might be really good. You can bring on the Wonder Woman, any Wonder Woman, really. Wonder Woman, Sky Tyrant, Sicarian Iron Man. Really just attackers. Like a lot of really good attackers can go onto a warrior keyword cheat. So if you find yourself wanting for attackers, or if you want to go into a warrior keyword, I would play Spider Viking and use Spider-Man family to bring on all of your support. Okay, so this brings us into our last one for the Spider-Man family at least, and that is Steampunk Penny. Steampunk Penny comes in at 65 or 45. She is generally played on her 45-point line, and I don't think I've ever seen her played on her 65, but she does bring robots onto your theme team. So you're looking at the Sentinel Factory. I always forget his name. Master Mold. So you're looking at Master Mold, and everything he can do can go onto a Spider-Man family theme team with this piece. Some other great robots, I believe. Man, robots is a keyword that I haven't dived that deep into. So if you are looking at playing robots, just know that Steampunk Penny might be a piece that you would want to look into to bring on another keyword into your theme team. She has this really cool Perplex. It's her special on damage. It says Perplex unique modifier. When Steampunk Penny uses Perplex to target another friendly character with the Spider-Man family keyword who doesn't choose damage, which you can't choose damage anymore, right? With the new rules, you may roll a d6 and instead modify the chosen value by half of the result. This is this is crazy. So you can basically go +3 on any of your stats if you roll right. So those are the Spider-Man family keyword sheets, and just some basics on what all you can bring into your force. I hope you guys, found something cool and interesting in this video that you hadn't thought of before. Otherwise, if you guys knew everything in this video, I apologize for the redundancy of it, but I want to make sure that everybody knows everything going forward into the meta scene of this upcoming year, because hopefully we are going to get another round of Nationals and Worlds, and I want as many people there that know what they're doing as possible, because I love that environment, and I love when we're able to all get together as a, as a group and as a team, as a player base, and express our love for this game. And I hope my content is helping some of you guys understand this game a little bit better. With that being said, peace, guys.